Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to do the weekly update for April 26th through May 3rd. So it is already a joke. It's called closed circuit, and everything is on a loop, and you can't replay it, but it's on a loop, and it makes no sense. So when you see it, you go right straight to the source. It really is a fallout. There's a type of fallout that is coming in next week that you just can't get. Like, it's like an odd expression of like a done and a do a day, and do a day is like do a day to get anything cantankerous. And when you see this and you say, the King of Hearts really sits pretty and proud that they've accomplished something, whatever is coming in. And then the opposing forces say, this King of Spades will come in and look at it pretty dark. And when you say it, you see this Nine of Hearts, you can't see or say it whatsoever. So when you actually have it like contained and you're litigating and mitigating and working out the problem, whatever it is, this Six of Clubs literally will come through to the highest degree of none. Really, it just, you look at the fallout and you see more issues with the IRS. I'm seeing more issues with FEMA. And then I'm also seeing more issues of how it plays out even longer with the school board. So, as I say, it's like a closed circuit on loop, but you can't get it done, and it's not on replay. So, this King of Diamonds is going to come out because of the new moon. It really is going to do a harsh cut out. And when you see this Jack of Hearts, it really is in like pre-play. It's odd. It's pre-play. It's already into play before it really should be happening. Which really makes me nerved up with this Queen of Clubs, because it really means in your face, where you can't see it. And when you can't see it, you can't do like a quick education. You can't see it coming. It really is like a pass of a whirlwind like this, if that energy comes through. And when I see it once like a Wednesday. It literally is overnight. It comes in so quick. So when I see this like Jack of Spades, you really have to look at everything on simplicity. So the Ten of Spades will come in and almost backtrack, but then it's too hard and too fast. So when you say the Five of Hearts comes in, it really is true of like you're looking at the mail and you say, I got everything I needed to do done and I'm up to date. And then like 3 to 5 more things come in. So let's look at the tarot and look exactly what it is. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? It is hard beginning. It's so fast with the way that it is with this new moon, which is really deep in Taurus and Scorpio. And I want to say more of a Gemini, which is odd for me to even be like questioning it. Like, why Gemini? But they're grounded in reality. And it's harsh because they didn't see it coming. When I see it and I say it's gonna take like teamwork to actually learning hard every which way and form you can to get a good offer on the table for securement, the Knight of Pentacles really comes in and it says honor. Absolute honor is like coming into a point of restored. So it's gonna come in strong whenever this wind comes in, but then it does alleviate loss with an odd spelling, LOS. And then it comes in with no move on. The Six of Swords, and it's really going to sting. And then it comes into this struggle where you can't even do anything because it's so sourceful and dictative that it caused this partnership so hard on a contractual matter somewhere in like 1922, and it's finally pertinent to 2025, and you have to put it on the table, and it's not planted. So then you have this lack of communication come in, all forms of communication, and it gives you anxiety because you don't know what's going on, and it's highly deceitful. But then they walk in and they say, no, I really did do this. Everyone in politics and everyone in business is not going to be this Empress card in reverse. They're going to just sit there and watch. It makes no sense on a type of juxtapose to a jurisdiction. But when you see this and you see the unfulfilled wishes to actually happiness, it makes no sense. It doesn't, but it does cause chaos. So, this judgment in reverse to the hermit in reverse, they have no judgment whatsoever. And when they look at it and they say it's so like too solitary, too solitude, you can't even do it hard enough with the Five of Swords in reverse. They're looking at this card and saying, he's looking behind like he did take something, but he really put it back. It makes no sense. That's all I keep hearing. Makes no sense, makes no sense, makes no sense. But they completed, they got it done. They got it done. It's happened before. It's definitely happened before in 1963 and 1971, 1973, and 1979. All right. Here we go. What else do we need to know? Seaboard. The seaboard. It really is the ocean, the seaboard. When you watch the wall of the seaboard, you go right down to like a jagged edge of a like point, like pentant point that has no illusion of a relief of this lack of communication, destabilization. I'm seeing almost like a wheel bearing that will make someone sit alone in their car and discontented, and it's not something that you really wanted, and it shows. But then you look and you go, this Two of Wands comes in and goes, I kind of foresaw it coming. It would do, because of the way that it flowed through and in. It was so hard that you couldn't get this Two of Pentacles like up and going with like money, no matter how much you worked. And this was about 3 years ago. And then all of a sudden it was this crash. And it also went all the way down to blood sugars. It really was no. It almost is like feeling already at a wall, at a max for next week. At the max. Which is really hard to say after 10 minutes. It's very weak. Very weak. I don't know why I'm seeing W-E-E-K, not W-E-A-K in this reading. What can we chisel out? Here we go. Lordy. Can't even do. Very odd. It really is like a service to a self-service. It is abrupt. It is a foregoing. It is, again, solitude. Solitude. And when you do this, it really comes in like you're going to do, but then all of a sudden it's health. It has to do with a lot of health. And then when you look at it away, you see this whole thing come through and it's stabilization. But then I'm looking at the crumbling foundations. It's about perspective of what is coming through that we said is on this loop replay that's not replaying. Here we go. There's something that won't come through. Let's try to unlock. Okay, unclock it. 3484. 1969, April 18th, 1969. Has to do with JFK. What do we need to know? That has to do with JFK. You literally will sit and listen to the psychics, and they're all like this week. So basically, they're trying to be gentle with everyone. Very gentle with everyone. The Eight of Swords in reverse literally means you can't go back at all in time. You have to go forward no matter what you do, whatever comes through this week. Because there was like a selling, I said, of oneself that was not of the best, especially in business sales, that came through like coins on a table, and I'm seeing like an Ethernet wire, and you look at it and you say it wasn't like a form of a way of a known. And then when you look at this and you see the phoenix, you can't even share it like it's like a reborn. But when you're looking at them, they're like, are you sure? The Knight of Cups really comes in and it's just like offering. Again, like where is these offerings coming from? Like it's highly emotional. And you see it and it's like a type of judgment that makes no sense. If someone's ever been in law enforcement and you do a traffic stop and they're looking at them and they're saying, do you know why we did this? And they're like this odd face. The faces are like, yeah. And they do this. They're like, I got this and I got this. And they're pulling their papers out so sharply that you can't understand what they're doing, but you understand there's something not right. So the Queen of Swords really has to say, you want to use logic, but you need to use intuition. It's almost a little bit of psychic in the public, especially like in the midweek. It's showing already the midweek. King of Pentacles, it's a little bit greedy. And I can understand the way it is, the way that the tariffs are. What do we need to know more about politics and military and anything that is concerning the public right now? It really is a lot of concern about judicial rulings, but it's the way that the court is presenting, where it's almost too isolating. So when I look at this and I see the Ace of Pentacles, it's a lot of like money lost. I don't know why I'm pulling it this way. Confirmed, you really need to watch the court. You literally need to watch the court to the basketball courts. And when you see it, it is so delusional. When you see them, you can't even understand. You can't even understand. Let's look at the road. I say look at the road and I say look at the runes. A lot of energies coming through. It's almost a little unsettling tonight. Power. A lot of power coming through. It has to do with a way of life when I see this rune. When I see this is something not spoken of our heritage in America. And when you see it, it has to do with a type of wealth. And when I look at it, it is a very like cutting, but it's more becoming of an individual. And when I see it, it really is offered with paper, and then you sign the line and you say, I don't think I should have done that. Here we go. Let's go to the Akashic Tarot, and then we'll look at the Pleiadian Oracle. Weekly update. Lordy, Lord, I just hear Lordy, Lordy. It really has to do with the Pope's funeral, which we knew it was coming. It really was. Well, wisdom in mind. It is the way that the pontiff is truly laid to rest, an internment that is such like a feminine energy that comes in and offers all those flowers, that you see the two worlds actually clash. Two worlds clash. And it ends like a birth of something that was supposed to be beginning. When you see this continuance on, add some in reverse, it gets a little heinous in its own way. And we've had this before with dignitaries and world leaders. When you see this, you literally are looking at the TV, and then you literally have to look at everything and say, I think it's time to plant the garden. There's no diversity in it, meaning like the way that it's played out. But it's not a bad thing. It's not talking about a DEI or anything like that. You'll understand as it plays out. There's no diversity. All of a sudden you say, it's the way that you see it in the media, the way it's written. To where you are looking up, if you've been through this before, you're looking for the next move. And then you see no balances. No balances. All right, Pleiadian Oracle. And that should be it for tonight. When you see this and you see, it has to do with food. So you're looking at the cattle, you're looking at the mineral deal, and then you're looking at, when I'm seeing crystalline grids, I am literally looking at all forms of the way that it's being presented. I'm looking at OTC. I'm looking at the stars. I'm looking at the new moon. I'm looking at the energy. I'm looking at like astrology to NASA, to all studies. And when you see this, they're all unified with cosmic unity on how it's all playing out. And then you look and you're like, what is actually being ushered in? What is being ushered in? And you feel this energy to where you're saying, I think I need chiropractic. I think I need something on that level. And you say, I'm going to go to my practitioner who's familiar with me. And you look at it and you go, sacred geometrics. And you look at them and you say, yep, thank you. Timeline jump. It is like fast overnight. Here we go. Expansion, compassion. All of a sudden, everyone is on the same page with universal heart and expansion of compassion. What is trying to, like, it's nagging me now, the energy again. I hear, let's go a boat, let's go a bay, let's go a lay, and let's go a say, let's go a nay. And then all of a sudden it's A, B, C, D, E, alphabet soup. it comes flying in with this like stalking, and I'm seeing a lot of tribal talking. When I see the black egg, they're saying like Skinwalker Ranch. And when I see this buffalo, I can't even do it out in the national parks. When I see this and I see cobra, everyone is looking like almost standing erect. And when I see moth, I can't even grow anything what I need for the year or in the area. Because when I see the waters and I see sea serpent, there's something about the wildlife that's just not right, even to the rivers. When I see hummingbird, it is frequency of sound of a message. Because when you see the wolf, it's people or individuals, however they identify themselves, walking around and they're saying, you know, I discovered this. When you see this unicorn, it really comes in hard and rare. That's literally by Tuesday. By Tuesday. What else do we need to know? Let's go to the Wild Unknown Tarot. Here we go. Unfulfilled wishes to where it has so much like loss of money and finances and securement to this Five of Pentacles, to this Five of Cups. There's an alleviation that does come in as a quick fix. And when you look at this and it causes like something had caused a pause to multiple causing a pause, that the Six of Pentacles actually is like this offering, like, how about you do this? How about you do this? And you actually have to say, maybe I got to think about this alone. And then you look at this and you say, all of a sudden, why do I hear like different ways that you like spell the word alone? And then when you look at it and you're hearing the world like trying to just like get through their day, this Eight of Pentacles really has nothing to do with any agencies. You hear the conversations in the future, but this Father of Wands is like, it's honorable though. It really is honorable. Because when you see this Ace of Pentacles, it will bring in money. It will make no sense. They look crazy the way that it ends up playing out over the next 3 weeks. When you see the Seven of Wands, it really is this like firebird where you couldn't even do. The Lovers is such a separation on all forms of meaning up through marriages and relationships. It really does. Here it is. It really is talking about this golden age. It really is talking about the great severing. It's really talking about the gap divide. And it's huge, huge to where it is aligning with quantum, but not quite. So the Son of Wands is really just like slow back. But let's see like what is actually going through. Here we go. This Two of Wands literally says there was no foresight when it actually happened. And it is a prophecy. It is like ill justice that actually comes in. And like everyone's looking at the way it is. It's like it's about children's rights of LGBTQ and sexual education. And it's about human rights. And it's about anti-Semitism, and it's about Palestine, all these current events. When you see this, it's about healing. It's about like moving on, but you can't move on, and it's really, really hard. But then all of a sudden, you just don't even talk. All of a sudden, you just don't even talk, and you don't even understand. There's not even like anything to count for it. And when you look at it and you see the Mother of Pentacles, it really is about securing as much as you can this week. Whenever you see it, even if it's $5, that's all you need to know. So when you see this and you see the I want to say the Six of Cups, but really it's this Four of Cups. There's a little bit less apathy by Friday. And that's all you need to know. So with that being said, since it's a little bit more settled, any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email is greatly appreciated, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a good night.